All right, let's go ahead and move on over and talk a little bit about the wide receiver room, man. This is something we want to jump into. There's been a little bit of talk around that. We've actually had some comments in our channel. So first of all, thank you very much for jumping in and commenting on our Utah football DNA. As a reminder, folks, for those of you who don't know, we did launch a channel specifically for your Utes content called Utah Football DNA. It's a channel specifically for all your Ute content. So if you want to see your Ute content, all of it will be posted here first. So be sure to check it out. A link will be in the description down below. With that said there, we did do a video a while back on the wide receiver room. One of the biggest question marks coming into spring camp, I believe, like I said, we already talked about a little bit, was the wide receiver room. But we definitely think that there's an update warranted there. We can start with the headset, right? There's a new man underneath the headset. Mike Simmons is the new wide receivers head coach.
Yep.
He's going to be shaking things up a little bit. From last, we talked about this. We have two returning receivers from last year, and that's Dadrian Zipper.
Yep.
128 yards on 8 catches, right?
Yep.
And then we also have Luca Calderara, who has 26 yards on 2 catches. Those are the 2 holdouts from last year.
Yep.
You got anything on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Calderara, this is a big body guy, right? 6 foot 4 inches. He is a redshirt senior. He transferred in from Cerritos College in California. So he's been with the program ever since he transferred in 21. Yeah, he hasn't had a great, regular season for a couple of years. But if you did watch the Forever 22 game, he made a couple of really nice catches. He moved into the open field really well. It looks like he could be a really nice, kind of big target to catch on that wide receiver side. So Dadrian Zipper, this guy has played in a couple of, actual regular season games, had some great catches, in the end of last season. So he kind of started gaining some traction, and he's another guy to kind of be excited for. So yeah, I mean, as far as the 2 guys that are coming back, those 2 are really solid.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the development there from that. I mean, Dadrian, like you mentioned, has seen a little bit more time than Lucas, but I want to see some of that development on there. And, the only problem is they're going to be fighting for some time. There's been a lot of higher talent that's come in since then.
Yes.
And we talked about a little bit about this here when we talked about this at spring ball time, but Ryan Davis is coming over from Albuquerque with Dampier. They had 747 yards last year, 3 touchdowns on 54 catches.
Yeah.
For Ryan Davis there, making him probable for the number 1 choice there for QB1, but not only just for QB1, but also for the OC, Jason Beck, right? He already is going to be familiar with how he likes to run this offense. It's probably going to be somebody who's going to probably predominantly, unless something jumps at you or somebody just comes out gangbusters, probably going to be your first option there for not only for the quarterback, but also for the offensive coordinator. What do you have on Ryan?
Well, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously he's going to come in and be more familiar with the offense than anybody else, coming in. So you're kind of getting a fresh start, which is kind of a good thing to see, because everybody, with the exception of him, is all kind of learning the offense together. I think the player that I probably like the most to be wide receiver 1 might be Larry Simmons, which is the 6'1" junior. He transferred to Southern Miss. This was a guy that started his career out at Ole Miss. He only played in 1 game as a backup in 2022. He didn't play any games in 2023. And I mean, I know the question here. Everyone's like, well, if he wasn't good enough to play at Ole Miss, he had to go to Southern Miss to get it, to finally get some playing time. Why are we thinking this guy's going to be good? I fact checked this a little bit. I'm like, why didn't he play at Ole Miss?
Okay.
The Ole Miss roster in 22 included Jonathan Mingo, which is now in the NFL for the Cowboys.
Right.
Malik Heath, who's now in the NFL for the Packers. Jordan Watkins, who is now in the NFL for the 49ers. All 3 of those guys were on the roster at Ole Miss in 22.
So what are you trying to say, AJ?
I'm trying to say this guy was stashed a little bit, behind some NFL talent there at Ole Miss.
You think?
they just continue to push wide receivers into the NFL. So
that's awesome.
The fact that he was recruited there, obviously he has a bunch of raw talent. He, at 6'1", he's got a ton of speed. I like this guy a lot to excel in this new offense. So
nice. One of my favorites I have looking on this one that I think is going to be is the transfer from Cal.
Yeah. Tobias Merryweather.
Tobias Merryweather, just specifically because of that name, Tobias Merryweather. That just sounds like a University of Utah football player name.
It sure does.
I mean, it just sounds like, with 11 receptions, 125 yards, and a touchdown. He's 6'5".
Yeah, big dude
that can run. And I definitely think he's going to be challenging for some targets. I think this camp.
I totally agree. I mean, this guy was a 4-star recruit out of high school. He was the number 79 player nationally out of high school, the number 11 wide receiver nationally when he came out of high school, also the number 2 player out of the state of Washington. So he does have a ton of talent. He did kind of have a disappointing season at Cal where he only saw action in 5 games, only caught, like you said, 11 passes for 125. So he is going to be out there challenging because he's going to want to get as many catches as he can, right?
Yeah,
This guy's a junior already,
he's got the build.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got the build to be talented at his position.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just he doesn't have enough runway or he just didn't show well in camp. I don't know, but I'm looking at this guy. He's got the build up. He's got the name. He's got the size. I think he's going to be a good pick.
Yeah.
To see some targets this year. I don't know. Someone to look out for.
What do you think about Nate Johnson, listed as a wide receiver on Utah's database?
I saw that. How much do you think he's actually going to be used there?
That's actually probably the best question you could have asked. I mean, that's really just a great runway, dude, because realistically in the Forever 22 game, he set up out at wide receiver quite a bit, right? Yep. I mean, all the way out. I think my biggest concern was he had a lot of balls hit him in the hands and just couldn't come down with them. Like balls that should have been clear receptions and run. I mean, we know the Nate Johnson story, right? The dude's a freak athlete. He's got elite speed. He's very crafty. I don't know how much wide receiver he'll actually play because, they said it really early when he came back. He's going to be a Swiss Army knife kind of guy. I kind of see him setting up in the slot, maybe moving out. If you can if you've got anybody that doesn't have 4.4 speed on the outside,
right,
you're setting up Nate Johnson and just sending him out because he is that fast. And I think with this offseason, I do think he'll work a lot on his hands and making sure that he is more used to catching footballs and, running down the way. So I do see Nate probably helping in a lot more ways than just the wide receiver room, but he is another great option for Jason Beck in the offense to just, kind of have another option out there. So
no, I agree, man. I agree. And like I said, I just don't see his use being there predominantly. I know that's where he's going to be listed, at least for now.
Yeah.
I think that might change coming out of fall camp, saying, but I think that's probably where they want him. I don't think they're going to be putting him underneath in the quarterback room just because they don't want to. I think that's just going to be bad juju. Don't put him in there. You're just asking for it, right? Put in some sage and, do some stuff. Keep that room clean. Next to that, man, we also have Creed Whitmore. Was a transfer from Mississippi State, redshirt last year. And we also have Justin Stevenson, who was a transfer from Wyoming. This kid, 204 yards on 17 catches. I don't know what I get out of this kid. I think that maybe he looked good, but it might have just been inferior competition he's playing with a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Wyoming had some tough games last year. The Mountain West Conference last year wasn't as weak as it had been in previous years, so they had some pretty good competition all the way through that season. He was kind of one of their go-to receivers. Like you said, he played in all 12 games. This guy, he's really quick, has great hands catching the football. I mean, he's a legitimate wide receiver, right? You're not going to have a Nate Johnson issue where you hit this guy in the hands and it falls out. Great hands. I watched a little bit of tape on him. He has the ability to run and, create yards after the catch. I like Justin Stevenson a lot. I'm curious to see how he's, going to be listed on that depth chart.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. I think we pretty much have a good idea of where it's going to start with. I think you and I hit it earlier in this video, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I really want to see where this depth chart shakes out in fall camp and probably more to come. We'll probably see some
definitely more to come. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, we did just start a channel specifically for your University of Utah football called Utah Football DNA. All of our Utah football content will be posted here first. So if you have not yet, jump into the description if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, or catch us on our live stream. The link to that channel will be in the description down below. So be sure to check it out.